first European to arrive in Alabama was Hernando de Soto, who arrived there in 1540 from Florida. In 1559, Tristan de Luna established a settlement on Mobile Bay. That settlement lasted 2 years until the Spanish became convinced that there was no gold to be found there. On January 16, 1702, the French found Fort Louis de la Mobile, the first French settlement. In 1711, Fort Louis was moved to the present-day Mobile. In 1719, the French brought the first African slaves to Alabama. Under terms of the Treaty of Paris ending the French and Indian Wars, France ceded all the land east of the Mississippi to England. Thus Alabama became an English territory. After the Revolutionary War, Alabama was a disputed territory between the United States and Spain. During the period before the War of 1812, more and more Americans moved into Alabama. During the War of 1812, the Americans seized Mobile from the Spanish. The Cree Indians attacked Fort Mims during the war. General Andrew Jackson then returned and defeated the Indians at the Battle of Horseshoe Bend. In 1817, Congress passed a law establishing Alabama Territory, and in 1818, the first territorial legislature met. On December 14, 1819, Alabama was admitted to the Union as the 22nd state. In 1830, the Choctaw Indians ceded their remaining land, and they began their migration to Oklahoma. This was followed in 1836 by the forced migration of the Cherokees to Oklahoma. On January 11, 1861, Alabama voted on secession. The provisional government of the Confederate States met in Montgomery in February 1861, and it adopted a constitution. In August 1864, Admiral David Farragut defeated the Confederates at the Battle of Mobile Bay. In 1865, the state adopted a new constitution. In 1876, federal troops were withdrawn from Alabama. In 1881, Booker T. Washington opened the Tuskegee Institute. In 1925, the first radio station, WBRC, was established in Birmingham. In 1931, 8 black youths were convicted and sentenced to death at the Scottsboro trial. In December 1951, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a bus to white passengers, and that precipitated the black boycott of the buses. In 1956, the Supreme Court ruled the state segregation laws unconstitutional. In 1963, George Wallace became governor and announced that he would defy federal integration laws. In June 1964, 2 black students enrolled at the University of Alabama in opposition of Governor Wallace. In March 1965, Martin Luther King and 25,000 followers marched from Montgomery to Selma.
Alabama's capital of Montgomery finally gets underway as Dr. Martin Luther King addresses the crowd at the starting point. Twice before, the marchers had been turned back by state troopers. Now they march under a federal court order and with the protection of federalized National Guard units and regular troops, a total of nearly 3,000 men. For the first day, there are 3,200 marchers in line. Half of the 4-lane Highway 80 is closed to traffic.